Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Late Night Brew, where we talk the brews first, then we get around to what we're actually talking about. Joining me once again, who really his checks are getting lost in the mail still, Lee Foster. Welcome back, buddy.
Good to see you, dude. Good to see you, mate. What's your fancy brew for the day?
You throwing me off script, buddy? But since you asked and you're so impatient, it is a lager, local guy, called Scottsdale Blonde, or technically it's a Kolsch. Apologies. So.
Nice. Well, you know me very well, mate, and my brew is boiling right now.
Well, we'll allow the egregious offense of not having your brew ready at time of recording, and we'll just move on. In this episode, we're going to be diving into digital workplace. Of course, are we already doing that? And what exactly do you mean by digital workplace?
Great question, mate. Great question. Well, look, as you know, don't we already do that? Well, look, EUC is the way we used to talk about what is currently digital workplace. And to be more
Right.
specific, EUC really is what we talk to now as being the Digital Workplace Foundation. So, over 12 years, we've done some fantastic work with Citrix and other vendors. And now you've got not so much new kiddish on the block, AVD and W365 and so on, but lots of different ways. And, VMware doing a similar sort of play. And not to even mention Google Workspaces. Lots of people doing this, what they call EUC or end user compute or digital workplace.
Pick your
When
flavor.
Exactly, mate, exactly. So what we've seen over the last couple of years is lots of organic growth and lots of organic growth, or just bolts on to what was the core foundation for EUC. Bits of
Hey, we
Citrix,
need
bits of X. Yeah, exactly.
this, we need this, and fit it
Yeah,
in.
the pandemic rush to work from home, scale everything up in Citrix, add some of this, bring on some WVD or AVD or 365 as it is now, W365, make it just work so that that we can make people work from wherever they need to work. So you've kind of got that aspect of the foundation and the tech that allows people to get good work done. And then, of course, you've got the getting work done part, which is all of the modern work stuff, the collaboration and everything else that goes on top of the foundation. So when we say Digital Workplace Foundation, we're kind of moving away from EUC, end user compute, as a terminology and as a focus. And we're saying the Digital Workplace Foundation is the foundation for you to be able to build upon the getting work done, modern work aspects. So the core elements, are they right? And if they're not, let's get them right. Right. But whilst getting them right, let's put the user experience bang in the center of that. Right. So, I'm sure you've spoken to plenty of clients where the user experience is pretty poor because of everything we've just said. Am I connecting to Citrix? Am I using this AVD machine? What do I do? I can't do this. I can't do that. And hey, look, here's a stat like from the Adobe State of Work report. This is a 2021 report. But 1 in 3 people that left their job said the reason they left was their employees' tech was a barrier to them getting good work done. Right. So they've taken a job, they've started a role, they can't perform that role because the tech is a barrier. Now, how bad is that? That's 1 in 3. Right. So, if the foundation is wrong, it doesn't matter how much good work you try and get done, you're forever going to be limited. That makes sense?
Yeah. And 1 in 3 is a huge number. That is not something to sniff at. And I mean, that alone is why organizations should care about this.
Totally right. And if you think about consumer tech, right, what we use day to day in our standard lives and our everyday lives, that one person that left that organization because it was inhibiting their way to get work done, they have a great experience at home. We often say, why is it I have a Jetsons experience at home and a Flintstones experience when I go to work? Right? Because they're just used to working with this tech in a way that just works.
Yeah.
Right. So for the last 20 years, right, enterprise tech has been playing catch up to consumer tech, right, to match that experience. So if you pluck that one user's personal experience and say, how do we give you that Jetsons experience in the workplace? That's got to be the center. That's the magic, right? And you think about what's important to an organization is I want to attract and I want to retain these people, right? Even more so in today's market globally. If I lose Buck today and I've got to replace him, I'm going to pay almost twice as much to replace him, right? And that's not justifiable and not sustainable, right? So,
and if you're having to have all that spin up time to train someone on legacy blank, or hey, we have to do it in this order because the tools are just wonky, that's that much more time before somebody is really capable of contributing to the
Correct,
whole.
mate. Correct. And you've also got the IP. You've got the IP that you might lose with that individual. You've also got the IP that they've created in a system that has been organically scaled out and is a bit of a mess. So now you've got to try and govern that and achieve compliance with the mess that's there. Again, that's the getting work done. The modern work is become so clunky and so messy and so hard to navigate that people are leaving organizations as a result. When we say Digital Workplace Foundation, it's like, okay, let's park that for a second. Let's take that user with us back to the beginning, to the foundation, and say, right, in order to give this person or these people a great experience, what does the foundation need to look like? Not what does tech dictate it needs to look like. How do we need to make this work so this person goes back into that organization and has an outstanding experience? So that's the core focus of the Digital Workplace Foundation, is again to draw a distinct line. It's not about the getting work done piece. That's modern work and that comes later. It's the how do we put a foundation in place and make that right so that it can scale. It's designed and architected with security at the center, zero trust framework. The whole element of the foundation is good. It can scale and scale at the right time. It can retract when it needs to. But again, I'll say it for the final time, the user experience has to be the measure of the foundation, not how good the tech is or what the vendor, how great the vendor says the tech is.
Exactly. That's actually a fantastic note to end on, which we've gotten through the time. Lee, as always, it's been a pleasure, bud. Love chatting with you.
You too, mate.
Anyone has any, yeah, I know, right? You keep coming back, so there's gotta, you can't hate me that much. If anyone has any questions, contact information's below. We're coming up with another episode to dive even deeper on this, so please stay tuned. Until then, have a good one, buddy. I'd say cheers, but you don't have to. Next time,